One should not become an artist because he can, but because he must. It is only for those who would be miserable without it. First, we think all truth is beautiful, no matter how hideous its face may seem. We accept all of nature, without any repudiation. We believe there is more beauty in a harsh truth than in a pretty lie, more poetry in earthiness than in all the salons of Paris. We think pain is good because it is the most profound of all human feelings. We think sex is beautiful even when portrayed by a harlot and a pimp. We put character above ugliness, pain above prettiness, and hard, crude reality above all. To try to understand another human being, to grapple for his ultimate depths, that is the most dangerous of human endeavors. Art is immoral, so is life. For me there are no obscene pictures or books, there are only poorly conceived and poorly executed ones. You cannot be firmly certain about anything. You can only have enough courage and strength to do what you consider to be right. Maybe it turns out that was wrong, but still you would have done his, and it is most important. I cannot draw a human figure if I don't know the order of his bones, muscles or tendons. Same as that I cannot draw a human face if I don't know what's going on his mind and heart. In order to paint life one must understand not only anatomy, but what people feel and think about the world they live in. The painter who knows his own craft and nothing else will turn out to be a very superficial artist. He had always loved God. In his darkest hours he cried out, "God did not create us to abandon us." Reading has always been the largest and most irreplaceable pleasure for Vincent, reading about other people's successes and failures, joys and sufferings seemed to bury his own failures. We believe that art is religious, because it is one of man's highest aspirations. There is no such thing as pagan art, only good and bad art. And suddenly Vincent clearly realized what his subconsciousness had known for a long time. All the talks about God are just childish illusion, just a lie that calms a scared and lonely ordinary mortal in a dark and never-ending night. There is no God. Sure as fate, there is no God. There is only chaos, dismal, painful, cruel, agonizing, blind, endless chaos. Listen, my friend, all forms that exist in God's universe can be found in the human figure. A man's body and face can tell everything he represents. So how could I ever exhaust my interest in it? No man is born into the world whose work is not born with him. Drawing is the poet's written line, set down to see if there be a story worth telling, a truth worth revealing. The fields that push up the corn, and the water that rushes down the ravine, the juice of the grape, and the life of a man as it flows past him, are all one and the same thing. The sole unity in life is the unity of rhythm. A rhythm to which we all dance, men, apples, ravines, plowed fields, carts among the corn, houses, horses, and the sun. The stuff that is in you, go gone, will pound through a grape tomorrow, because you and the grape are one. When I paint a peasant laboring in the field, our secret thoughts, do they ever show up? The small flame of our soul can be burning hot, but no one comes to its warmth. Passers-by see only a small whiff going through the chimney. Don't we need to take care of that flame, cherish it and patiently wait until someone will come and sit at it, do we? We are giving the world back to man, and man back to himself. Man shall no longer be vile, but noble. We shall not destroy his mind in return for an immortal soul. Without a free, vigorous, and creative mind, man is but an animal, and he will die like an animal, without any shred of a soul. We return to man his arts, his literature, his sciences, his independence to think and feel as an individual, not to be bound to dogma like a slave, to rot in his chains. Vincent did not know how to express his feelings in words. He knew how to paint them, however, one cannot paint the farewell. How can a young person learn whether he chose the correct way? He thinks he has a special idea, and then he discovers that he is completely inappropriate for it. She must always remember that love ebbed and flowed, now rich and shining, now shabby and disconsolate. One must survive the bad in order to realize the good. Therein lay the miracle of love, that it could eternally recreate itself. She must always be dedicated, no matter what the years held, what the hardships or disappointments, the sorrows or tragedies. She must come through them all, through the most violent and frightening storms. Who wants to do good in this world must deny oneself. A man does not live on this earth to be happy or to be honest only. He has to do great things for humanity, achieve the generosity of the spirit, and rise above the banality where most of the people are drowning and wasting their days. What the world thought made little difference. Rembrandt had to paint. Whether he painted well or badly didn't matter. Painting was the stuff that held him together as a man. The chief value of art, Vincent, lies in the expression it gives to the artist. Rembrandt fulfilled what he knew to be his life purpose, that justified him. Even if his work had been worthless, he would have been 1,000 times more successful than if he had put down his desire and become the richest merchant in Amsterdam. It's pleasant to get used to the expensive, the soft, the comfortable. Once you're addicted, it's so easy to become a sycophant, to trim the sails of your judgment in order to be kept on. The next step is to change your work to please those in power, and that is death to the sculptor. Art should be linked to abstract things, color, line, tone. It is not an instrument to improve social conditions and chase ugliness. Painting is like music, and it has to separate from everyday reality. It was like penetrating deep into white marble with the pounding live thrust of his chisel beating upward through the warm living marble with one go. His whole body behind the heavy hammer, penetrating through ever deeper and deeper furrows of soft yielding living substance until he had reached the explosive climax, and all of his fluid strength, love, passion, desire had been poured into the nascent form, and the marble block, made to love the end of the true sculptor, and responded, giving. Do you know the anecdote about Rubens? He was serving Holland as ambassador to Spain and used to spend the afternoon in the royal gardens before his easel. One day a jaunty member of the Spanish court passed and remarked, "I see that the diplomat amuses himself sometimes with painting," to which Rubens replied, "No, the painter amuses himself sometimes with diplomacy."